Don't panic, we're about to go through some tubes in this spaceship shooter, or should I call it a spaceship tuber? It's Tube Panic through Arcade Archives. Tube Panic will mark the first in my spaceship shooter mini review series. I hope to review a bunch of spaceship shooters over the coming weeks. It's just a fun little mini project for me. I really like the genre, and I think there's some great ones out there that people may not be aware of. This is one of them. If you like spaceship shooters and want to see some great reviews, subscribe to the channel. I'm more than happy to have you. But let's talk about Tube Panic. This game is released from Hamster Corporation in 2020. Hamster Corporation has brought us over 180 arcade games to consoles like the PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox Series S, X, One, etc. And they've done a damn good job. I think there's a lot of obscure games that they've brought us. There's also some that are maybe not as obscure, but this is definitely one of them. And even though this game came out in 1984 and is almost 40 years old, this one will really sweep you off your ship. A mysterious tube net appears before the command ship Marcus as it cruises through space. Do you name your car? I've never named a car I've had. I know some people do that. I guess it's normal to do for like spaceships, you know, like the Voyager or something, or like, you know, you do that with maybe boats, the SS Titanic, you know. But I don't know. It still rubs. It's kind of weird to me that the ship is named Marcus, but whatever. It's you know, this one is really a mark in the skies. You know, it's a good mark, Marcus. So this game apparently is the first game circuit board to have a 3D rotation function. I don't exactly know what that means. I think it has to do with the arcade cabinet, but I could tell it probably has something to do with the gameplay as well. When I first booted up Tube Panic, I was immediately reminded of games like Tempest, Space Harrier, Burning Force, Galaxy Force. I think this was kind of a standard for spaceship shooters at the time, where it's kind of like the screen is coming at you. And I think this one is, you know, for being released in 1984, is really visually and technically impressive. It blends that kind of horizontal gameplay style you might know from Space Harrier, which actually came out after this game, and the tubular sections that you might know from Tempest. There's a variety of colorful settings that I really like. There's lots of unique military style obstacles on stage, or enemies. There's enemies and obstacles, and oftentimes you're balancing either kind of not running into anything and taking down as many enemy units as possible. There's three main game modes. There's original Tube Panic, there's the high score mode, and then there's caravan mode. Original and high score are basically identical. The only difference is that in original mode, you can suspend your game with a save state. It's pretty much pointless given that all modern consoles have a suspend feature anyway. But I guess it's there. I personally would just pick high score mode. And then caravan mode is a 5-minute high score mode. See how much you can get in 5 minutes. You have the controls are pretty basic. It's either speed up, slow down, left, right, and then there's shoot. You can press one of 3 buttons for shoot. You can't map the buttons, but you don't really need to. There's this game's funny. Sometimes there's like holes, and the first time I saw the holes, I was like, "Oh, don't fall down the hole. You know, you're gonna lose a life." But actually, they're warp panels, and then you get a shield once you fall in it, so it zooms you further in the level, and then you get a shield. So basically, it lets you rampage on some enemies. There is an incentive to get to the end of the level, the mothership, with the most power possible, and to land right in the center. You get extra points if you do that perfectly. And that's important in these modern renditions because all of these games have online leaderboards. That's actually part of the thrill to me when I started this game. You can actually see your high scores on the side of the gameplay. And there's always kind of that encouragement. You see your current score on the screen, and then you see your high score on the side. There was some confusion for me about like why isn't my high score updating? You actually need to upload the score and then leave, go back to the menu and then reboot it after, and then the high score will update. It was weird, I know, but I am pretty damn proud of being number 14 on the high score mode, high score list, online leaderboards. I am the top American player on the PlayStation now. Woohoo! Go me, Hawking style. What's Hawking style, you might ask?
What is Stephen Hawking style?
Well, being a freaking badass at a game. That's Hawking style. That's how you do it right there. Pro gamer tips with Teddy. I don't think this game is perfect. I think it has two major issues. I don't know if I call them major issues, but there are two issues that I noticed. The first is that there's no auto fire mode. And so you're doing a lot of firing on screen. Now, if you're playing for a little bit of time, it doesn't really matter. I got really into the game. I thought it was really fun and engaging. So I was playing for over an hour. By the time I had gotten my high score, I had to pop my thumb back into place. I could hear it just go. And that's not exactly a great sign for somebody who loves games and is worried about getting arthritis. But again, you're going to play it for short bursts of time. And I mean, you can always take breaks. So that's on you. The other thing is that, and this is probably minimal and more of a nuisance, some enemies fire back, not many, and the color of their fire is yellow, which coincides with your spaceship fire, which is yellow, and so that makes it hard to see. It's just a nitpick. It's not huge. I still think that the game is very fun, manageable, and a worthy collection to any modern collector's spaceship shooter collection. You will have to get it digitally, but what are you going to do? Wait for it to go on sale. It's fun. I think you should play it. It's a nice look back in time, and I like the modern blend with the online leaderboards and everything. Challenge me. Can you beat my high score? I'd love to see it. What do you think of Tube Panic, and will you try it out? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and let's shoot some spaceships, shall we?